Hello, Moonglow. Hi, Rainbow Brite. So you still keeping the moon and the stars and all the other things bright at night? Yeah, I've been doing that, I guess, since 9 between 85 YL, when I first came to Rainbow Land, or when I was first chosen to be a cast kid who oversaw the casting of all things at the evening and at night. Well, as you know, half of the world is going into fall and winter. The other half of the world's going into spring and summer. So one side of the world is going to start getting dark earlier when half of the world shifts their timers back, and the other half of the world doesn't. So you're going to be dealing with the western side of the Earth that's now going into fall and winter, and then some folks like to shift their timers back. So that means your work's going to start early, about 5-ish, and won't be undone till about 7-ish in the morning after that. And let's not talk about the eastern side of the earth where they go into spring and summer, so you won't be doing work at least until about 9-ish. Yeah, the whole time zones and lands that like to shift their timer ahead and back during spring and fall. It's so misleading, you know. I mean, half of the time I don't know what I'm doing. If I'm working on the eastern side of the earth, yeah, I got to start making everything. Everything has to start being light. It starts getting dark about 6 now, or 6ish. And then when you shift the timer back, it'll be dark about 5-ish. So yeah, my work starts about that. And don't forget about all the other time zones of the world, and if they shift their timer ahead or back or not. It's just so crazy. But I have dealt with this since 9 between 85 YL, so you would think I would be able to handle of it. Yeah, it's more like a warning thing, because you know it's going to happen. You know, there are those lands that like to do daylight keeping time, daylight losing time, and all that. And then, you know, half of the earth goes into fall and winter, the other half of the earth goes to spring and summer. Then there's slights of the earth where it's warm all year round, and slights of the earth where it's cold all year round. You know how that goes. Like, so I guess that means your work's done then, right? God doesn't need you to bring any more cast into things. That would be wrong, Moonglow. Even in fall and winter, I still gotta make things look, you know, bring cast light and brightness. I mean, I still gotta make scene that the sunlight is still, still light. I gotta make scene the ice is whatever cast it is. I gotta make scene the snow, if the snow falls, I gotta make scene the snow's white. So yeah. And I also gotta make scene that all the leaves, when they shift, from green to yellow or whatever, that they're at the right cast. So my work is not done, you know. But yeah, I gotta go to the western side of the earth that I've been working there, and I have to go and get their spring and get everything ready for their spring and their summer, you know. But I've been working for God since 9 between 84 YL, maybe even earlier than that. And even time zones throw me off too, you know. Well, I mean, thank God Rainbow Land doesn't have time zones, does it not? Now, to tell you the truth, I don't know if we do got time zones. I don't. We most likely we do got a time zone, Rainbow. We just never gave it a name. Yeah. Why don't we just call it the Rainbow Time Zone? And I don't know how it behaves. You know, I don't know how it behaves either. Sometimes I think, Moonglow, you kind of get really you get so much work, and that you just, how do you do it? I mean, you got to work evening, nights, early morning, and then what do you do during the day? Well, mostly I sleep during the day, if I can. And then due to the big shift of times, due to all the time zones, daylight keeping time, daylight losing time in some lands, my sleep is always fucked up. But then again, I spend most of my time doing all my work in the evening and at night and early morning. You could think of me as a night owl. Ha ha ha. Yeah. But somehow I pull it all off, Rainbow. I've been pulling it off for like what? I've been pulling it off for at least 40 years or so. Need be 41 years or so of it. I need to ask you, how do you pull it off? I mean, you've been bringing cast light and brightness to all worlds since what? 9 between 83 YL, 9 between 84 YL? Yeah, been doing that for a long time, Moonglow. I've been working for God and Jesus for a long time. Do you? And I don't. And when I was chosen, when I went through all the things I had to go through, when I had to free all the cast kids, and I had to deal with the one-headed lindworm and the weird bird and falling into the no-way waterway, and meeting Twink and Starlight and dealing with Merkwell, Dismo, and Lurky, and fighting the Dark One, also known as the Evil One, they call him that as well. I went through all of that thinking, meeting, baby Brite would shift out to be the Sword of Light, would shift out to be God. Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time, but I wouldn't take any of it back. I mean, you don't get any breaks, Rainbow Brite. I mean, Father Yule gets a break. I mean, he has to do gifts between the 12th month and the first month for Western Yule and Eastern for the Western Christendom Yule, and then for the Eastern Christendom Yule, and you don't get no time off. Yeah, you're right, Moonglow. I don't get time off like Father Yule does. It is what it is, But thank God I named Ernest thank God I named Ernest as the first Wicker, so he could handle some of those things when I'm not feeling well or doing something else, But yeah, I don't get no breaks. Well, you need to bring that up to God. You need to say, God, I need to have a break every once in a while. I do bring it up to him, Moonglow. I tell him that. And God goes, you can take a break anytime you want, he says. But he tells me, but you always got to keep bringing cast and lightness and brightness, cast, light, and brightness into the world. So if you do take a break, make it. And he tells me I can take breaks. I just never want to take one. Oh, is that it, huh? All right, I gotta go to sleep and be ready because I gotta wake up about 6 to get ready to start making, for the evening and the night, making the stars glow, the worlds glow, all that lovely, all the moons glow. Yeah, you do that then. I'm gonna say, yeah, don't worry, I'll get about 6. I'll do the work.